Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Rusty's Mustang Garage. If you're following along, I'm restoring a 1965 Mustang Coupe, and I believe this is going to be part 6. As you can see, we're still snowed in, and probably going to be like this for a couple more weeks, but I have a lot of sheet metal that needs to be prepped for primer, so we're going to be doing that today. So, into the garage, or little garage space that I have. Alright, so what am I going to use to strip the panels with? Well, I've been using an electric DA sander, 80 grit paper, 80 grit or 60 grit, depending on what I had. But that doesn't get all the nooks and crannies. I've been using this smaller 3-inch DA sander. It also has a 2-inch pad for it, so I probably will have to use that once I find 2-inch pads. And let's see where this other, yeah, here it is. A small die grinder with some sanding or scuff wheels on it. And that's been kind of helping get into all the nooks and crannies. It's still going to take a while, but I got to do it. So, you know, the panel's got rust underneath the primer. I need to get down to bare metal. The primer that I'm using is Southern Polyurethane Epoxy Primer. It, according to their tech sheet, it requires an 80 grit DA type finish. So that's what I'm shooting for to get done. Some of the nooks and crannies may have a little bit of a different finish to it, but it's hard to get a sanding into the nooks and crannies. So let's slide into a little bit of a time lapse. It really does just eat through the pads pretty quickly. I don't know how many of these I'm going to go through.
Wearing the stain you made on me, and I wait
Alright, so I don't want to bore anyone with just endless sanding of sheet metal. So I'm just going to give a little quick update to where I am. I got about 80% of the firewall sanded and cleaned up. It's going to be all those little crevices that are going to be hard now to clean out. I got to find some smaller sanding discs or something that will get into all the nooks and crannies. To go over some of the tools that I've been using, kind of making this project a little easier. Not a whole lot easier, but a little bit easier. Let's take a quick look at what I've been using. Alright, so some of the things I've been using to work on this. This has been my primary go-to sanding device. Just a 5-inch DA sander. It's electric. It's doing what it's got to do. I really don't have the volume of air that I would need to run a big like 6-inch pneumatic DA sander. And we'll get to the air in a second, but I think I may have killed the compressor. Second favorite tool is going to be the 4-inch grinder with a wire wheel. It gets into these little indentations or these pressed in recesses in the sheet metal. It gets into those a little better because the cup is flexible. The other thing is you have to watch out for flying shards of steel, so definitely eye protection, face shield for that one. This wheel is an absolute beast. Really kind of scared to use this one. I don't have a full face shield. I have to get one, but that thing is an absolute monster. Definitely want to wear some eye protection with that and face protection. And the other two little tools have been a small 3-inch pneumatic DA sander, usually with some 80 grit on it. Gets into the smaller recesses. I can get it in through here and in these areas here. And I've also been using a rotary grinder with some sanding discs on it, and that really helps get into some of these wavy areas on the firewall. When they stamp these firewalls in the press, you can't get everything completely flat, so there's going to be some waves. The original Ford ones may have been better, likely have been better, but this is reproduction sheet metal, and we all know how that goes. Why am I sanding down the sheet metal? Well, I'll tell you. If you look close, let me see if I can get this light set. I'll zoom in as best we can. Yeah. Try to light that so you can see it. Yeah, it's really difficult to see. But there is some surface rust underneath the primer. So I'm kind of disappointed in that. I did buy this firewall probably about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. So it probably wasn't the best. It probably wasn't even E-primer. It was probably just regular old primer on top of sheet metal. And we have some rust forming underneath, and that's getting sanded off. Okay, now let's talk about the compressor. So this is my trusty air compressor, which I think is just about dead. I was using the air sander, and I could hear the motor RPM dropping and getting very sluggish, probably on the verge of seizing the piston in the cylinder. It's been rebuilt once already, maybe 3-4 years ago. It probably seized, shattered the rod, threw parts everywhere. And it's been having just, intermittent use basically, but since I've started this project back up, it's been getting a lot more use. And I think it's probably time to upgrade to something newer, hopefully better. Alright, so that's where I am now. I probably have a couple more hours of sanding to do on the firewall and the cowl side panels. I'm not going to bore everyone with that. It's just endless sanding and sanding and sanding. If anyone knows how to, or knows a better way of getting into all the nooks and crannies and crevices that are in the firewall, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. And while you're there, why don't you hit that subscribe button and notification bell to be notified of any future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.